Hello VC, hello everyone. From our balcony here. Who's dead? Okay. This is going to be a long overdue video for my series of Beatles albums from around the world. And I've reached the point of getting to or coming to the United States of America. And I have a special place for my US albums because these were my very first albums that I've listened on turntable. I've listened to a cassette before, but British versions. But the Americans albums were my first record vinyl on the turntable. Why is that? Because during the 70s, the mid-70s, Israel stopped manufacturing singles, 7-inch singles, and the only place that I could get at that point of time, when I was a teenager, in the mid-70s, the singles, the songs of the singles by the Beatles were on the American albums. As you all know, Capitol album, Capitol Company changed the albums of the Beatles from the UK versions to their versions, taking out songs, putting instead of them other songs from the singers, A-side, B-side. And it was, for me, it was the place to listen to the Beatles during the 70s. Now, I have quite large collection from the US, as you might gather, for albums. But I don't think I really have ultra mega albums, except I think for the Butcher covers, which many have. Anyway, the very expensive VJ albums I don't have. They are very expensive, very rare to find. Maybe sometimes in the future. Anyway, I have a large collection, and the thing to look for in my collection is the condition, because I have quite nice condition for many albums from the US, and some of them are still in the shrink wrap, and two of them are sealed from the 60s, which is amazing. But I'll get to it later on. Because I have many records, I'll split this video into four parts. And we'll start with the first part, which is appropriately, if you consider I'm filming it now on the 12th of February, and 60 years ago, in February, the Beatles came to America and conquered America. The British invasion. They were the headliners, the avant-garde of this movement. And as you probably know, I mentioned VJ. VJ were the first to produce, manufactured, and distributed an album by the Beatles, just in, I think, in January. And it's, of course, this album, Introducing the Beatles, which considered to be nowadays as the most counterfeited album of all time by any artist. This album has many variations. As I told you, I don't have the most rare of the versions, but I do have 4 originals mono. 3 of them with covers, 1 without. This is the nicest of them all. A mono original VJ introducing the Beatles. With all of them are the same basically. Please me with a comma here and ask me why. And again, a beautiful condition one with a spine and everything. It makes it very nice to look and to see and to listen to. And the label is the brackets one. Without, which is first edition of this kind of variation, without the micro groove and the long play, which I will show you later here. So this is the first one of introducing the Beatles from January 1964. Beatles invasion to America. And my second showing here is the one without cover. It's the same VJ brackets, large brackets, and as you can see the difference, it has micro groove and the long play here. By the way, how can you identify an original one, an authentic one, not a counterfeit of the label? You can see the name of the Beatles are above the spindle, okay? And the colors of the rainbow are quite vivid. You can identify any color here: blue, red, orange, yellow, green, and black are all on this rainbow label. Another original one, the same cover, lesser condition. Someone wrote things on the back cover, and there are a few stains here. Anyway, the front is nice. And the label here is the silver VJ, silvery VJ. By the way, the cover, you can identify it authentic by the George shadow, by other features, you know, the type of the carton and other things. Most of the stereo that are on the market are counterfeit. There are few authentic, original, of course, thousands upon thousands. Here's my last original authentic cover of introducing the Beatles mono. And the label is the rarest of them all from my point of view. Small VJ brackets, which I've read that is probably were intended for 45 edition. And another feature that is very nice and unorthodox, instead of by Song of Chains, the fourth song here, instead of Coffin and King, Carole King, it's Coffin and King, Coffin. I have 2 examples of counterfeited album. First of all, the cover, stereophonic. You can see a lot of water stains here, marks and light. Unreal, although there's a shadow here of unreal picture, photo of the Beatles P.S. I Love You, Love Me Do on the back. And the one that I have with another stereophonic, a very beautiful counterfeit, I must say. It was bought many, many years ago by my father, my dad, my late father, $30 in New York, in a record shop. And you can see that the name the Beatles are under Spindle. As I said, a very, very nice condition of a counterfeit, not usually made, but even rarer than the introducing the Beatles, VJ, just after introducing, they made another introducing, but with a different cover. Songs, pictures, stories of the fabulous Beatles. And you can see that it's an original, authentic record and cover by this kind of gatefold. And the record is the same for introducing the Beatles. The same VJ silvery black albums. Now, another company that jumped on the bandwagon, let's say, is MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. They had the rights for Tony Sheridan recording from Hamburg, 1961, and they produced this album, The Beatles with Tony Sheridan and guests. Guests were the Beat Brothers, whatever. And this is basically the second pressing, because it should be here and guest for the first one. But it's a very nice condition album, label, MGM, beautiful one, and cost basically the same as the first edition, I think. This album is pretty useless. I keep it because it's the Beatles. It's basically a reissue from the late 70s, I think, 79. Here the Beatles tells all. It's an interview album. VJ wanted to make a buck from interviews, so they produced this album back in 64, but it didn't sell much, as you might understand. Stereo, I don't think it's a stereo one. Anyway, it's an interview. It says in Hebrew, someone wrote the name Beatles, translation or semi-translation, in Hebrew, twice here. Anyway, this is the vinyl and the VJ label for Here the Beatles Tell All, whatever. Now, the last album that we're going to show in this part is a very appropriate album because it is celebrating a 60th anniversary as the true British Beatles invasion to America. It's of course Meet the Beatles, which is kind of mixed by Capitol from With the Beatles, with several, I saw standing there from Please Please Me, and of course the single I Want to Hold Your Hand and the magnificent This Boy, which you can see in our There's Night film movie. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is the true first edition in beautiful condition. Beautiful condition. How many has this kind of condition for the first album that was made, was out in early '64, and you can see the brownish Beatles here and the true blue tint here of Meet the Beatles mono. And what makes it very rare, very valuable is of course the label. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true first Beatles, Meet the Beatles, with no credits whatsoever to BMI or ASCAP. The rights for the songs are not in here. Only the estimation is 20,000 copies, and how many copies were kept in this condition with the true original inner sleeve, which is much more blue than the later one that I'm going to show you, which is something of, I don't know, magenta, I don't know, much lighter blue. This is the original blue inner sleeve. And my second copy of Meet the Beatles is a second variation mono copy, which has only BMI for I Want to Hold Your Hand, and the other songs are ASCAP. So this is the second one. Again, condition is brilliant, and you can see the color is lighter than the blue here. The same inner sleeve, but much lighter. I have a third copy of the mono, and it's the third pressing. It has BMI for the first two songs, and the other are ASCAP. This cover is less in the condition as Jack Goldstein put his name on the cover. Now for the stereo. For the stereo, I have the third edition with the BMI for the first two. Again, in a beautiful, beautiful condition. Not shrink wrapped for this album, but for later albums. But, wow. Third pressing, 1964, because of the demand. February 1964, stereo for Meet the Beatles. And my next one is again a very, very valuable one from 1969, 5 years after his original outing or pressing, first pressing. This is as the Gold Record Award. You say, why this is so valuable? It's no brownish. It's a reddish Beatles here, a later pressing, but it's because you have the 3 lines here, which makes it book club, American book club edition, very, very sought after, in a very, very sought after label on the stereo, 1969. Again, great album. This copy, this version is very, very rare to find nowadays. The last copy that I'm going to show you is the lesser value. Why is that? Because this is my original copy that I bought back in '76 from a record shop in Tel Aviv. Again, because they're the singles. This boy. You can see here, it's an olive here. The Beatles, not brown, not reddish. And it has the orange capital from the mid-70s, sorry, which I fond memories. That's it for this video. I have another 3 parts for American albums, which you should see. Many surprises there. And until then, bye bye from Eli.